Hello, NBA fans. Every day we have news about the Los Angeles Lakers. I'm a Lakers fan and I ask for your help by subscribing to the channel and giving me your thumbs up. The Lakers urgently need to energize Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Bronny James, Dalton Knecht, Jackson Hayes, and Maxi Kleber, because these players are currently not capable of leading the Lakers to the championship. The Lakers suffered an unexpected loss to the Phoenix Suns, but even with great wins, the Lakers have glaring flaws that need to be corrected if they want to be champions. They need to sign an elite defender, a 3D wing, and another reliable center. In fact, the Lakers' bench has been bad and hardly scores, and when the stars are well guarded and can't decide the games, the Lakers are exposed and suffer losses to mediocre teams like the Phoenix Suns. Really, the Lakers should have found a way in the offseason to add another good 3D player to start with and have Rui Hachimura coming off the bench. Having a consistent 10 to 12 point player coming off the bench helps the bench a lot. And NBA analysts keep saying that this Lakers team is mediocre and not playoff caliber, that with this roster they won't get past the first round of the playoffs and are still far from competing for the championship. And what can the Lakers management do? The obvious and simple thing is to trade 6 players who haven't added anything to the Lakers' rotation, because by trading these 6 players, they have the opportunity to bring in 2 or 3 new players who are solid and help in the rotation, both in scoring and defense. Los Angeles Lakers blown out by Phoenix Suns 108-125, 3 major takeaways. The Lakers came into Monday night feeling good about themselves, winners of 7 straight and finally looking like a group building real momentum. But the energy that carried them through the past 2 weeks never showed up in an 108-125 loss. Instead, Los Angeles spent most of the night chasing a Phoenix team that played with far more urgency, even after Devin Booker went down early. Luka Doncic lit up the first quarter, LeBron James worked just to extend his decades-long scoring streak, and the Lakers still found themselves buried under a wave of Suns threes, turnovers, and fast break pushes. By the time the fourth quarter hit, the building was quiet, and the Lakers looked exactly how they played, tired, sloppy, and a step behind. After an ugly Monday night loss, let's dive into the 3 major takeaways. 1. Sloppy ball movement put the Lakers in a hole. If the Lakers needed one stat to explain the loss, it was their 22 turnovers. Every time they looked ready to make a run, another loose pass or mishandled possession killed the momentum. Phoenix didn't just take the ball, they turned it into points. The Suns piled up 32 points off those giveaways, while LA managed only 13 off the Suns' mistakes. Doncic was brilliant scoring the ball, but his 9 turnovers were costly, especially when Phoenix ramped up pressure on the perimeter. Those mistakes fueled the biggest gap of the night, transition scoring. The Suns ran at every opportunity, converting them into 28 fast break points, while the Lakers had a shocking 2. With Phoenix shooting 57% from the field and knocking down 17 threes, giving them extra possessions turned a tough matchup into an uphill climb the Lakers never came close to solving. 2. Doncic did his part, but the defense didn't. Doncic once again played the role of offensive lifeline, finishing with 38 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists. But for every tough shot he hit, Phoenix seemed to answer with an open 3 or a back-cut layup. Colin Gillespie caught fire with 8 threes and 28 points, and Dillon Brooks added 33 while attacking mismatches whenever the Lakers switched. Even without Booker, Phoenix kept the floor spaced and made LA scramble from one rotation to the next. The Suns also owned the middle of the floor. They scored 56 points in the paint, and center Mark Williams barely missed, going 6-for-8 with 13 points. The Lakers' defensive breakdowns weren't just about effort, they came from poor communication and slow recovery, something you rarely survive against a team that finished the night with 35 assists. Outside of Doncic and Reeves, LA's perimeter coverage couldn't keep anyone in front, and the Suns punished every late rotation. 3. The supporting cast didn't help Luka. Outside of Doncic's scoring burst, the Lakers never found a second consistent source of offense. LeBron struggled to get going, finishing with 10 points on 3 of 10, and needed a late three just to keep his months-long double-digit streak alive. Rui Hachimura didn't score at all, and the bench, while efficient in moments, never swung momentum. Dalton Knecht chipped in 13, but too many rotation players had quiet nights in a game where the Lakers needed someone to lift the load off Doncic. Oddly enough, the Lakers actually won the rebounding battle 39-33, and Ayton grabbed 9 boards while Doncic hauled in 11. But the extra rebounds never translated to sustained scoring. LA finished with just 18 assists, a number that shows how often the offense drifted into isolation or late clock heaves. Meanwhile, Phoenix's bench outscored the Lakers 41-32, thanks to Jordan Goodwin's 13 and steady contributions from Nigel Hayes-Davis and Ryan Dunn. It was a classic example of one team playing in sync and the other trying to win through individual talent. Rui Hachimura sends message on trust issues after scoreless Lakers-Suns game. The Lakers' current power trio of LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves can only do so much alone. When 2 of the 3 failed, the team faded. Against the Phoenix Suns, that imbalance showed clearly, as Los Angeles fell 125-108. What made the day look horrible? Rui Hachimura has an answer, who himself scored 0 tonight playing 23 minutes. "We just gotta trust each other, pass to each other," Rui Hachimura said after the game, finishing scoreless with 1 rebound. Luka and AR both have the ball all the time, so they get a lot of attention. All the other guys gotta be in the right spots and be ready to shoot. Be ready to make another play. Looking at the stats, you'd understand where Rui's issues are. Luka Doncic finished with 38 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists in 32 minutes, while Austin Reeves added 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. LeBron James contributed 10 points, 3 assists, and 3 turnovers, including a timely three-pointer late in the fourth that extended his streak of consecutive double-digit games to 1,297. Things took a turn in the second quarter. Doncic racked up 4 turnovers, and Reeves added 4 more of his own, as the Suns went on a 35-21 tear to seize control. Doncic's 9 turnovers tied a career high, with all 9 directly leading to steals for Phoenix, the most live ball turnovers by any player in a single game this season. "That was my fault," Doncic admitted. "No way I can have 9 turnovers in a game. What if the ball had been passed? Could the outcome of the game have been different?" But Rui knew his role was set. Since arriving in Los Angeles, Hachimura has had to adjust his game. Once a go-to option in the mid to low post, he's now been tasked with spacing the floor and occasionally taking pull-up shots, fitting into a system where Doncic, LeBron, and Reeves dominate the offense. The shift hasn't changed his mindset. "I'm not trying to be a superstar or anything. I'm just trying to help the team win," Rui had said earlier. Navigating this dynamic isn't easy, but Hachimura and the other role players know their roles. "We've been great. This is one game we kind of messed up," Rui said. Time to rethink Rui's role might be JJ Redick's next move. Before the Lakers tipped off against the Suns, Rui Hachimura was quietly carving out one of the best stretches of his career. He had become the kind of complementary weapon every superstar dreams of having. He's averaging a career-high 14.8 points per game this season, while also posting his best shooting numbers ever, 54.5% from the field, 46.1% from 3, and a true shooting percentage of 65.2%. Simply put, the Lakers' spacing has never looked better. Hachimura's presence on the perimeter is invaluable. With the Lakers ranking just 20th in NBA three-point percentage at 35.2%, having a sharpshooter like Rui has been a game-changer. Whether coming off the bench or supporting the starters, he's been reliable, consistent, and uncomplaining. But while Rui has shown individually, there's one pairing that hasn't clicked as hoped. He and DeAndre Ayton. The two have shared 395 minutes over 16 games this season, posting a net rating of -1.1 together, stats as per before the Suns game. Offensively, they're solid at 117.3, but defensively, things get tricky. The duo's rating sits at 118.4, leaving the Lakers vulnerable. The solution? split them up. Hachimura pairs better with Jackson Hayes, where their net rating jumps to 2.4, with stronger defense at 111.9, even if the offense dips slightly to 114.3. JJ Redick is already tinkering with lineups, and it might be time to rethink Rui's role, too. Could a new pairing unlock the next level for both him and the Lakers? Only time will tell. JJ Redick explains why Jared Vanderbilt has been out of rotation. Los Angeles Lakers forward Jared Vanderbilt enjoyed the first healthy offseason he's had in years, setting him up to be an important part of head coach JJ Redick's rotation for the 2025-26 season. Redick expressed his confidence in Vanderbilt, saying he could be an impactful two-way player for the Lakers. While Vanderbilt has flashed his usual energy and hustle this season, he's fallen out of the rotation since LeBron James returned to the lineup roster moves. Redick detailed why Vanderbilt's been benched and how he's been able to handle it. He's been good. He's been a pro, he's been great in the most recent stay ready that we had this week. He was great. He's been a great teammate, so no surprise there, Redick said before Monday's game against the Phoenix Suns. I communicated to him before LeBron came back that there were certain things that he needed to be able to do consistently to play before LeBron came back, after LeBron came back, and that there was potentially going to be a numbers crunch because we probably were going to play a 9-man rotation and that was just the reality. Having said that, it doesn't mean that he's not going to be back in the rotation at some point, whether we're healthy or whether we're missing a couple guys. When you're winning games, it's hard to redo the rotation mid-winning streak. So we're looking at everything, and there were some lineup combinations when we were injured that we had to go away from, and he was, I guess, caught up as a sort of innocent bystander in some ways with that. But I certainly have empathy for him, and it's not an easy situation to be in as a coach and certainly not a fun situation for him to be in as a player. Vanderbilt's defense and knack for making winning plays is useful, but he's been struggling offensively. Teams have been happy to pack the paint and dare Los Angeles to shoot when Vanderbilt's on the floor, leaving Redick no choice but to use other options. However, with how many players have already struggled to stay healthy, there's a good shot Vanderbilt cracks the rotation again. Redick and the Lakers will need Vanderbilt at some point, so it's important he stays ready until his number is called. Jared Vanderbilt discusses controllable things Lakers can fix going forward. In the Lakers' loss, a lot of their struggles have been self-inflicted. Jared Vanderbilt noted that Los Angeles needs to be better at executing the game plan, sound advice that could be applied to their recent loss to the Suns. Lakers injury news: Marcus Smart considered day-to-day after undergoing MRI on back. Marcus Smart has fit in well with the Los Angeles Lakers, though his availability has been up and down as he's already dealt with a few different ailments. Smart was recently held out of the Lakers matchup against the Phoenix Suns due to a back injury, a nagging issue that's plagued him the past week and forced him to miss 3 straight games. Without Smart, head coach JJ Redick has still managed to patch the rotation together, though the veteran's absence has coincided with the team's slip in defensive efficiency. Fortunately, Redick said Smart's injury isn't considered serious and is considered day-to-day with back tightness. He was feeling a little tightness, I guess it was 3 games ago now, before the game. Played through it, tightened up after, I guess it was really tight the next day, the day before Thanksgiving. So he got imaging. Imaging was unremarkable, it looked like a normal 11-year NBA veteran. We've all got that MRI. So we're not concerned long-term, it's a day-to-day thing, Redick said. I had a number of those week to 2 week episodes during a stretch of my career when I played for the Clippers, and it would just pop up and you would feel like you're progressing and then it would kind of plateau. So we expect him to be back soon, it's not a long-term thing. It's encouraging to hear Redick say that Smart isn't expected to miss much more time given his age, injury history, and value to the Lakers roster. With Smart on the floor, Redick is able to use a variety of coverages and switch almost across the board. Offensively, Smart is a great passer and can keep the basketball moving against a scrambling defense. Off the floor, Smart is a respected leader in the locker room, so he's still able to make an impact even when he's not playing. However, the best version of Los Angeles involves Smart, as his presence on both ends can turn games. The Lakers have done well to manage without Smart in the lineup, but with the upcoming schedule featuring several playoff-caliber opponents, they'll need all the help they can get to stay atop the standings. Lakers player ratings: LeBron and Hachimura struggle badly in ugly loss against Suns. After 7 straight wins, the Lakers finally ran into a game where almost nothing clicked in a 108-125 disaster class. The Suns played with more energy, more pace, and far more sharpness, and it showed in nearly every possession. So instead of another polished team performance, the Lakers walked away from Monday night with a laundry list of problems and a film session that won't be fun for anyone involved. With that in mind, we're breaking down how each Laker performed, what worked, what didn't, and where the effort simply wasn't good enough. Key players LeBron James and Rui Hachimura struggled tremendously, while even star and likely All-NBA candidate Austin Reaves could not make an impact. Here are the grades from a night LA will want to toss out quickly. Luka Doncic, A. Game stats: 38 PTS, 11 REB, 5 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 15 to 26 FG, 3 to 8 3 points, 5 to 5 feet, 32 minutes. Luka Doncic was the only bright spot for the Lakers, but he couldn't get an A+ grade despite scoring 38 points because he had a whopping 9 turnovers. He had to carry a heavy load throughout the game, crashing the boards and passing the ball around with scoring, but he couldn't keep the ball under wraps. Without Luka, however, the Lakers would have probably lost by 30 points. That is why Luka gets an A grade despite featuring in an ugly loss. Dalton Knecht, B. Game stats: 13 PTS, 4 REB, 1 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 5 to 7 FG, 3 to 5 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 16 minutes. Knecht was one of the bright spots. His shooting kept the Lakers from completely falling apart during sections of the second half, and he played with urgency while others looked flat. The defensive side is still a work in progress, but offensively, he gave exactly what you'd hope for from a young scorer. Austin Reaves, B. Game stats: 16 PTS, 4 REB, 3 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 6 to 12 FG, 3 to 7 3 points, 1 to 1 foot, 33 minutes. Reaves made shots, but the defensive end was the problem. Phoenix repeatedly attacked him in space, and Gillespie's big night was partly a result of those mismatches. Reaves contributed offensively, but the Lakers needed far more organization from him as a secondary playmaker. A mixed bag, leaning negative. DeAndre Ayton, C+. Game stats: 12 PTS, 9 REB, 1 AST, 1 STL, 2 BLK, 6 to 8 FG, 0 to 0 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 28 minutes. Ayton was efficient with the touches he got, but the impact didn't match the stat line. The Suns beat the Lakers repeatedly off the dribble and through back cuts, and Ayton wasn't able to clean up those breakdowns. He wasn't bad, just not the defensive anchor the team needed in a game that got away in the paint. Maxi Kleber, C+. Game stats: 5 PTS, 3 REB, 2 AST, 0 STL, 1 BLK, 2 to 4 FG, 1 to 2 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 10 minutes. Kleber gave the Lakers a short burst of energy. He knocked down a three, moved the ball, and didn't make many mistakes. His minutes were limited, but he was one of the few bench players who did exactly what he was asked to do. Jackson Hayes, C+. Game stats: 6 PTS, 2 REB, 0 AST, 0 STL, 1 BLK, 1 to 1 FG, 0 to 0 3 points, 4 to 5 feet, 14 minutes. Hayes played with energy, but the defensive timing wasn't there. Phoenix's guards picked apart the Lakers' coverage, and Hayes didn't deter drives the way they needed. Offensively, he was fine, defensively, less so. LeBron James, D+. Game stats: 10 PTS, 0 REB, 3 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 3 to 10 FG, 1 to 4 3 points, 3 to 4 feet, 31 minutes. This was one of LeBron's worst performances in recent memory. He never looked fully engaged offensively and had trouble generating separation. He needed a late three just to keep his historic double-digit scoring streak alive, and his lack of lift showed on several possessions. Not a disastrous outing, but for his standards, it was nowhere near enough. Jake LaRavia, D. Game stats: 2 PTS, 2 REB, 1 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 1 to 3 FG, 0 to 1 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 16 minutes. LaRavia had a tough time defensively, especially when Phoenix forced switches. He didn't hurt the Lakers offensively, but he didn't provide any spark either. A quiet, forgettable outing. Gabe Vincent, D. Game stats: 3 PTS, 2 REB, 0 AST, 0 STL, 1 BLK, 1 to 6 FG, 1 to 4 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 21 minutes. The shot just wasn't falling. Vincent got clean looks but never found his rhythm, and his defensive pressure didn't swing possessions the way it has in better performances. A frustrating night for him. Rui Hachimura, F. Game stats: 0 PTS, 1 REB, 0 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 0 to 1 FG, 0 to 0 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 23 minutes. A rough night all around. Hachimura never found a rhythm, barely impacted the glass, and struggled defensively. The Suns played with more physicality and speed, and Rui never matched it. When a starter finishes scoreless in 23 minutes, it's hard to justify anything higher than a failing grade. Nick Smith Jr., not applicable. Game stats: 3 PTS, 1 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 1 to 2 FG, 1 to 2 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 6 minutes. Smith hit a three and looked comfortable in his short stint. It wasn't enough time to move the needle, but he did what was asked and didn't overcomplicate things. Bronny James, not applicable. Game stats: 0 PTS, 1 REB, 1 AST, 0 STL, 0 BLK, 0 to 0 FG, 0 to 0 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 6 minutes. Bronny was steady in limited minutes. He didn't look out of place defensively, moved the ball well, and played within the flow. The game was already getting away from the Lakers by the time he checked in, so his impact was minimal but decent. Adou Thiero, not applicable. Game stats: 0 PTS, 1 REB, 0 AST, 1 2, 0 to 0 FG, 0 to 0 3 points, 0 to 0 feet, 5 minutes. Thiero didn't get enough minutes to make a real dent in the game. He had one turnover and didn't have many opportunities otherwise. Not enough sample size to be harsh, but nothing meaningful to grade positively either.